Hey guys, what's going on? I'm SureDSX, and today I'm bringing you another free-for-all commentary. This is a 30 for 6 on Meltdown. It's a pretty good game. It starts off a little slow because I don't really run into too many people right off the bat, but it does speed up, and I have a little encounter with this. Oh man, there's this dude running around with a riot shield the entire game, and kind of entertaining. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it, but the thing I'll be talking about today is the PS4, or rather the PS4 announcement, which was streamed 2 days ago, and I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but I did, and I was I can't help but be excited with the future. And by the way, if you're an Xbox fan, you know, a hardcore PC fan or anything like that, then all the more power to you. Then just pretend I'm talking about the next-gen consoles or the future of gaming or something along those lines. I will be talking about the PS4, but just pretend I'm saying 720 or whatever. Anyway, so the thing I can't stop really not thinking about, but imagining is the PS4's capabilities. While I'm sure lots of PC people will say like, oh yeah, it's not that great, and yeah, sure, I have 4 times as much RAM in my current PC, but it's, you know, it's still pretty amazing that there's going to be a console like that. And the thing with consoles is a lot of people buy them, a lot of people play them. That's the whole marketing aspect of it. That's why so many developers are focusing on consoles these days. It's because it's the bigger market, because it's so easy for your average user to, you know, just pick up a console, plug it in, and be like, oh look, I'm playing Call of Duty. As opposed to back in the day, you know, when we were playing Counter-Strike and Quake and stuff like that, it was more the people that, you know, had a computer, knew how to use it, and knew how to put games on it. That was basically the case. Now it's like, oh, here, buy this thing, it will do everything for you. Anyway, so that's why I'm excited about it, because now those graphics will actually be the norm. And it's not like, oh, look, the graphics are so pretty, and that's what's keeping me interested. It's really not that. It's more exactly what the PlayStation, you know, a lot of PlayStation representatives were talking about, as in it's all about storytelling. Like, alright, let me give you a little bit of a backstory to my experience with gaming. Like, I'm 24 now, in case some of you guys were wondering. When I started gaming, there were basically, you know, like 16 by 16 pixels. That was basically your game. And any effects anyone had heard of at the time were pixels fade in, pixels move, and pixels fade out. So it wasn't like developers had a lot to work with. But at the same time, some of those games were actually incredibly awesome and incredibly detailed and even captivating for, you know, the story they told or everything. It was just, I guess it was the amazement of what developers actually did with it. But, you know, skip forward to, you know, today, and it's amazing that we're gonna have such amazing graphics with the PS4 and with the next gen consoles and with all of that, because you can actually like show someone's emotion on their face. You can see like their eyebrows like nicely move around and actually portray exactly what they're feeling. Like, I'm really excited to see how people use that to actually tell a story. And I'm not saying, you know, good graphics do not equal story, and trust me, I know that, and I preach that all the time, because I don't know, like, for example, I'm a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series. I love them. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the older ones had a lot more thought going to the story as opposed to the graphics. And that's kind of the case. Like, graphics do not make the story by any means, but if you use the graphics to tell the story, it becomes amazing. Like, think of Avatar. Like, the reason I enjoyed Avatar was not because it was like, ooh, space, and ooh, flying monsters, and ooh, giant planets. Like, the special effects were amazing, no doubt, but the thing that really made it for me was that the special effects and all of it together was actually really capable of, you know, putting you in that universe, making you believe that you were actually in Pandora and you cared about all the little animals and all the little creatures of the forest and all of that. Like, that was the amazing part for me, because if you had done that exact movie like 20 years ago, and when I say 20 years ago, imagine like old Star Trek type of uniforms and, you know, bad background design. I'm not saying like Star Trek's awesome. It's just the background was low budget at some point. But yeah, if you imagine like the old movie sets and stuff like that, you really can't properly tell a story like Avatar, because you can't picture yourself on that alien planet or anything like that. As opposed to now, you're like, wow, I can actually see myself flying with these things. That's great. And that's exactly what I mean with the next gen consoles. As long as developers actually use that ability properly, we can look to see some exciting stuff. And don't get me wrong, I mean, like, the realism part of gaming is, like, it's not that it's a tricky subject or anything like that. It's just, like, for me, games have always been not a substitute to reality by any means. It's more like, if you are tired, or if you're, like, you've played your sports, or you're bored with the current options presented to you, then games have always been a good, alternative. It's because, you can play a sports game, you can maneuver through a story, you can just go online and kill people. They give you lots of options. And that's the great thing about it. Of course, in many situations, they suck compared to real life. But with all this realism being added to them, they actually become deeper. You're no longer just trying to maneuver 4 pixels into jumping into a 5th one. It's strategy. You have, it's a lot more involving. And that's what I like to see from games. I'm not really a picky gamer by any means, or I wouldn't really think myself one. But at the same time, I actually don't play a lot of stuff. Like, for example, Black Ops 2. I mean, here I am uploading videos, and I play the multiplayer, actually not as regularly as you guys would probably think. But the point is, I do play it all the time, and I definitely enjoy the game. But at the same time, I haven't even touched the single player, and I'm probably not going to. Because it's really not my cup of tea. It's very straightforward or linear. The story is not, as involving as, let's say, a Final Fantasy or something like that. It's not my thing. So, that's something I would really, I could think of a lot of things better to do than play Black Ops 2 single player. And that applies to a lot of games. So I'm actually really excited to see if they manage to, bring out some awesome stuff with the PS4. And by the way, I have to say, some of the games they showcased were, brilliant. There was this one called Watch Dogs. It's a Ubisoft game. It's basically like GTA, completely open world to the point where you even don't have missions. You're just walking around, apparently hacking into people's, phones and cameras and stopping trains, and it looks pretty sick. But the best thing about it is that freedom. It allows you to, just be creative, and just like GTA, run around, cause trouble, escape, or be a vigilante, or whatever you want. And that's awesome. There's also, they did announce that there will be a new Final Fantasy coming out for the PS4, although there wasn't much more info about that. But still, I have to say, the entire time Square Enix was on stage, I was kind of like, ooh, this could be awesome. It's like a little kid jumping out from inside me. But wow, this gameplay kind of finished a little fast. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know where your thoughts were, and in case you were a little negative about the PS4 and really want to go let that side of you, then go check out this video, because it's a little negative, but it's hilarious. It's in the middle of the screen. It's not mine or anything like that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you next time. Peace.